If we haven't met yet, g'day. My name is Dr. Brooklyn Storm, and I love all things spirituality and integrating spiritual practice with our private practice. One of the things that I think has been coming up for a lot of private practice owners lately is this whole big shift to telehealth. And as I was sharing on my podcast, I think it was yesterday or the day before, I've also done that. So a little while ago, maybe a couple of weeks ago now, made the decision to shift the entire practice from face to face to online. And it's actually something I've been wanting to do for quite a while, and I just hadn't done it. And I always had felt that, beliefs that I had were very, very limiting at the time. I was thinking that I might lose a lot of clients. I was thinking that people might not be okay with the online work. You know what I mean? All of these thoughts were coming up, and I was using them to justify staying in my comfort zone, if I'm completely honest. But what happened was a little while ago, I kind of realized that with everything that's happening with coronavirus, and this is just my experience, and I know that everybody's doing their own thing, and that's fine. I'm not saying my way is the right way. But for me, I do have a compromised immune condition. I'm also a carer for my mum, who's also got compromised immunity. And I was just thinking, if I continue to do face-to-face work, it's not really going to work out for me, because while clients might answer the screening questions like, have you been sneezing, coughing, respiratory issues, they might all say no to that. But the reality is that they might not be aware that they're actually transmitting the disease. And I could get it, not know that I've got it because I'm not showing any symptoms, and I could give it to my mum. And then just realizing that made me feel, like I should not put myself in that position, because I don't want to upset mum or affect her. And then likewise, what if I had accidentally picked it up from somewhere and I had healthy clients and I was passing it on to my clients unknowingly? So I just felt, for me, I wanted to, for myself, just have a clear conscience, and that meant shifting everything to the online space. Now, it was really uncomfortable for me to do that because of all of those beliefs, right, that I was telling you about. I thought everyone's going to hate it, no one's going to do it, it's going to be horrible, it's going to be a nightmare. But anyway, just bit the bullet and did it. And my experience was that everything I'd been wanting for my private practice was actually on the other side of my fear. All I needed to do was, step into it. And it kind of reminded me of when I took Gabe to the vet. He's not a fan of going to the vets. He's a rescue dog, and he didn't have a great experience there. And now when he goes, he gets really, really nervous, and he shakes a lot, trembles with nerves and everything. But when we go there and he's behaving like that, I'm doing my best to reassure him and calm him down. But eventually he gets to the point where he realizes he's at the vet, he's not going home, he's got to deal with it. And what he does is it's like his whole body just kind of relaxes, and he calms down, and he stops carrying on and barking and fretting and worrying, and he allows the vet to do what the vet needs to do. So this was kind of like my experience. I'd had all of this nervousness and anxiety around taking the business offline to online. And when I made that decision, it was like calmness came over me, and I relaxed into it. And I just kind of dealt with it. And the most beautiful things happened. So first off, we have really, really, really high conversion rates, one of the highest conversion rates for private practice. It's in the mid-90s. I think we're at 94% conversion now. We've only lost a couple of clients to not wanting to do video or phone, which is fine, but we've managed to retain almost all. My fear of losing referrals was unfounded. I've still been getting more referrals coming through. My fear of appointments dropping off was unfounded. I've still been having all of those same appointments. I mean, there's 43 appointments in the diary for this week between the two businesses, so between the private practice coaching business and between the psychology practice. So my books are looking really good this week. And so I guess what I've realized is that when you start to step into the fear for yourself and you just kind of deal with it, you often find that those fears just aren't real. Those fears aren't real. They're just kind of illusions. And I'm so pleased for this opportunity to have experienced the fear, because it's what's kicked my business into that place where I was wanting it to go the whole time. The other thing that I've noticed is working with my clients, who are mostly psychologists, physios, and GPs, that this has also been a time for them to gain clarity over what they want for their practices as well. And so while we're seeing in some of our groups with our colleagues that some people are really struggling with this, there's also others that are thriving and they're doing really, really well. And you have to look at the difference between ones who are struggling and ones who are thriving. And I think a lot of that comes back down to mindset. It comes back down to, what do you really want to experience in your practice? Can you see opportunities now for your own transformation? I think some of us have had the rug pulled from under us, and that's then causing fear. But guys, this fear is coming to give you clarity. There's going to be clarity for you through the fear. Always, when we're thinking about energy and universal laws and things like that, we know that contrast always brings clarity. So you're learning now about what you really do want for your private practice, or you're learning now what you really don't want for your private practice. You're getting clear on those sorts of things. And that clarity is then going to provide a pathway for you to follow so that you can manifest that private practice that you really, really, really wanted to have all the time. I bet until coronavirus came along, I bet, 2 or 3 months ago, you're on autopilot. You're just kind of asleep, so to speak. It was the same routine: get up, have breakfast, drop kids off, go to work, do the work, come home, da da da. You're on autopilot, you're asleep. But now this is a chance. You've been woken up, you've been startled. The coronavirus has been the big alarm clock that's woken you up, and you've got a fright because you're in this deep sleep. But now you're waking up. So this is your opportunity, guys, to really think back to why you became a healer, why you became a health professional or a health practitioner, why it was important to you to help, and to think about, is this still aligned with who you are now? Is the practice you have now in line with the vision that you have for your practice or not? And what can you do about those things? What can you let go of now that's no longer serving you? And where are the opportunities for you to create space to start calling in new things that will support this new vision that you have for your private practice? Okay. There's a whole lot of stuff going on there. And this is my jam. I love talking about this stuff, in case you hadn't noticed. And I love helping people with all of this as well. I have the private practice monthly mentorship. So if you're interested in coming along, getting some coaching, it's really affordable. It's in a group setting with other health practitioners. You can only get into it if you're a health practitioner. And what we do is coach you around, what are you waking up to in your practice now? What do you want to experience in the next 6 months or 12 months? Where do you want the practice to be going? And that can mean all sorts of things. It can be around your marketing, your visibility, your income, the types of client issues you want to work with, the type of team that you want to have around you, a premises that you want to be working in or from, or whether or not you want to be working from home, the way you want to be working. Do you want to have a spiritually informed practice or not? Do you want to have a practice that's gratitude informed? Do you want to have a practice that's, got a certain type of atmosphere that you want to cultivate? And do you need help kind of teasing that out a little bit? If you do, get in touch and I'll send you some information about that group, because I think it'd probably be really, really helpful for you. I know it's helping the people who are already in there. And I'd love to help you with it too. If you missed the podcast, there were 2 out. There was one on Friday and one yesterday. It's called the Business Acceleration Podcast. So you can go and listen to those. And if there's anything I can ever do to help you with your private practice, don't hesitate to reach out. I love helping, okay? And I'll be posting more about your private practice on this page over the next coming days, and happy to answer any questions or speak to any topics that you would like me to speak about. I hope you all have a really, really beautiful Sunday. Thank you so much for joining me today, guys. Bye.